Good morning, everybody. How are we doing? Sammy, United People's TV, welcome to another show. I think we're going to enjoy this one. Let's be totally honest. Was that game what it needed to be by the end of it last night? Yep. 4-1, 3 points. United up to 6th. First half. Let's be honest, the game probably should have been out of Wolves' reach by the time that they got their first goal under Rob Edwards. But second half, we turned it on. 4 goals, 3 points. I enjoyed it. We're going to run through the game. Amorim's post-match comments. We'll speak about Mount. We'll speak about Bruno. We'll speak about Cunha. A conversation we need to have about him. Not in a terribly negative sense, but we'll speak about the players last night. We'll speak about the overall game. And kicking on to this week. Does that game change anything? Not particularly. But given how regularly I think I criticise the professionalism of United's players, they were professional and got the job done against Wolves. You can let me know what you think, as always. Let me see who's here in the members and the mods gang. Say hello to everybody and get on with today's show. And there's plenty of announcements to actually happen today. Carl, good morning to you. Steph, good morning to you as well. Maddie, you're there too. I can see that YouTube still hasn't changed the usernames back. Thank you so much, YouTube. We've got Red Devil's Corner and Nikhil. We've got Fred. We've got Mania. Got Deb Poller. We've got Sam the Flan Man. What is a flan? It's like some type of dessert or something. Don't know that. Don't know. And some non-members. We've got Michael Etienne. Not Michael Etienne. We've got Teclon. We've got Neville Charlton, David, and we've got Gabriel. Good morning to all of you. Now, can I make a couple of announcements? First things first, I want to tell you that this is finally live. So this is the Christmas raffle. It's £1 a ticket. The link's in the description. You can use the QR code there to enter as well. Get as many tickets as you want, or just one. Someone's going to win a PS5 for £1. 100% of ticket proceeds are going to be donated to Great Ormond Street. So it's our way of a community of doing something. One of you will win a PS5. I'll buy the PS5 for that person, and 100% of the proceeds are going to charity. So it's effectively our Christmas charity donation, and then I'll donate a prize to it. So someone's going to win a PS5. All right, it's only going to be for £1. Then you bought a PS5 2 months ago. Get another one. There you go. That's all I can say about that. And you can see them here, right? 3 of them. And this is something that I don't know how long we've been working on this in the background. Big up to Ronnie and big up to Parry, who has been designing, please. Designing, please? Not designing. Designing these. Our new poster range has now finally dropped. And as I said, that one there is the Fergie one, which class. That one there is the Cantona one. That one there is my favourite. I love this Park one. But also, there's others too. I'll show you some down here. I just haven't had a chance to put these up yet. We've got the Beckham one there, which I think is class. Or should I say, Sir David Beckham. We've got a Rooney one here, which we've gone really like FIFA Street Rooney sort of vibe. I think that's class, that one. OG Rooney, that one. Proper OG Rooney. This one's in the same style as the Fergie one. Right? That's the Scholes one. But again, man, these are so good. Parry has smashed these. Well done, dude. As I said, we've been working on these for a good while. There's a Ronaldo one. Again, you can see this is a bit of a series that we've started. But really liking these. They're all original, by the way. Here's a Keane one. Little nod to Ireland down the bottom as well. I like that. Looks a bit angry. God of War vibes. Yeah, that's a bit random. The link for the poster is in the description, by the way. All right. uptvmerch.com. And then this is one for gigs, which is a completely different design. But yeah, I love them all. So that's 6 down there. 3 on the wall. And they're all available on uptvmerch.com. You can see, you can just go scroll through the shop. Now, if you are in the UK, the delivery for Christmas, the last order date is 16th of December. If you're around the world now, unfortunately, there's no guaranteed delivery before Christmas because we haven't been able to launch it in time. But that's the full range, all right? The A4 unframed is only $15.99. So that's what I said to you before about the merch. I always wanted. I felt that the posters would be the best way to get something that's reasonably priced that you might enjoy, right? So if you want to, you can grab them. uptvmerch.com, and I've been waiting to launch them for a long time. And then the raffles launched too. Kicking off today's show, and we got the quiz later. Yeah, it's been a busy prep for today's show, but let's go. Yes, they do. We can send them all around the world, Cham. It's just that if we're sending to New Zealand, obviously it won't arrive before Christmas, but it's global delivery, all right? Let me read a couple of your super chats out down here, and I want you to let me know, what did you think of the game last night? All right, my prediction was 3-1. Good. I was wrong. It was 4-1. Even better. And it was a really good second half. First half, I'll let me know first, and then we'll run through it. Rex, you're saying, morning, Sam. Happy with the result, but unhappy with the team's defensive output. The goals to shots on target conversion against United is awful. Well, if you look at how many goals we scored this season, yeah, I think I might agree with you on that one. And you're saying I deserve a prize for calling the final score. You go for a 4-1? Nice. Carl saying, is there a Class of 92 poster? There isn't yet, but the plan is, by the way, from now on, we're going to be releasing 1 or 2 of these a month. New original designs. And we're kind of going to be focusing on, I don't know, like the legacy of our club. So players who have already written themselves into like the club's history rather than the current team. So maybe we'll do a Class of 92. Maybe we'll do something for Matt Busby. Maybe we'll do something for Jimmy Murphy. Stuff like that. Let me see what you're saying about the game, right? Toby, you're saying first half was not good at all. Second half was better. The first half started well. Then Wolves got back into it. Then we got the goal, which was... I mean, that must be... that must be like the worst goal you'll see all season, but goal's goal. Then after that point, we kind of let Wolves back into the game. You felt like that's how the game was going. And then they bloody equalised for half-time. You think, oh, yeah, of course, typical. Well done, United. Just for half-time, you get Wolves get their first goal. And I was worried about how United were going to come out in that second half. But I was wrong. United came out and really turned the screw. We had 3, maybe 4 chances before we scored, right towards the end. What? Let's say 1 second here. I've left this open. Too many notifications. Go away, Discord. Thank you. Someone down there saying thoughts on the Ratcliffe versus Wilcox argument. Mate, you've seen a photo. He might have just been having a go at him for standing on his toe. I don't know. You can really look into that all you want, but you're effectively creating stories where you have no idea what they're talking about. Someone down there saying, only thing it looks like Amorim had to motivate them at half time. First half was pedestrian. Points in the first half were good. It's just that, atypical of Manchester United, we don't particularly like killing teams. I know we did in the second half, but just in general, and something that Amorim spoke about, we don't particularly make it easy for ourselves. And that win last night, it's just a... like Gavin down there saying people really getting excited about beating Wolves. Mate, there's nothing I'm going to take out of that Wolves game. Like the end of the season go, oh, you know what was the turning point? It was that game against Wolves. No. That was very much a lose-lose situation game for United. Win. I mean, you're supposed to win. You have to win. You should have won. Correct, by the way. That really was one of the worst Premier League teams I think we'll ever see. We play them again in 3 weeks' time. Good. Pump them at Old Trafford. But United got the job done. And I'm telling you, like, the amount of times I've watched the United team be unprofessional, I'm going to point out when they are. That's what they were in that second half. And then look at the bloody table now. Mate, it's It's a mad Premier League season. It really is. This weekend, we've already looked at the games. Who is it? Sunderland are playing Newcastle. I think Spurs might be away to Forest. There's games where teams around us... Where are Spurs these days? 11th. Only 3 points behind us, though. We're 6th. 6th in the bloody table. How on earth are we 6th? I swear people were talking about Chelsea being in title... or being title contenders. What, maybe 1-2 weeks ago? Now, I know you can look at this table. Rightfully so, by the way. And you can go... Well, kind of looking at that table just annoys me a little bit more because, we should have got a result against Everton. We should have 100% got a result against West Ham. Where would that have put us? Well, we're 5 points behind Villa. So max it would have put us 1 point behind City and 3 points off top. But we'll find out. Either way, for United to be 6th here, after the season that we've had, we know what our season has been like. It's good to see. And I mentioned this in the match reaction last night. And I'm not sure I've really articulated it properly. When it comes to Manchester United getting back up the table, when it comes to Manchester United competing for the Premier League and for top trophies again, it's because of two things happening. Number one, I suppose technically it could happen with just United being better again. And our momentum, like we're packing in like 9-10 wins in a row. We're looking indomitable. We're looking fantastic. And that fires you up the table. But at the same time, if the teams who are above you drop off a bit, then the gap itself closes. That's what's happened this season. In a way that I don't think it has in seasons before. Last season, we had to sit there and just watch Liverpool dominate the whole league from start to finish. Even if United were improved last year, which we weren't, then we wouldn't have got near them. Had they been doing the same thing this season, we probably still wouldn't be getting near them. Arsenal wobbling. City are looking pretty damn good right now, let's be honest. But at the same time as United... We are stringing results together. This is the thing, man. Like, prior to after the West Ham game, isn't it? This is a really accurate reflection of how you can manipulate stats, I suppose. After the West Ham game, Manchester United had only won 1 out of our last 5 games. Statistically correct. After that Wolves game, Manchester United have only lost 1 in our last 9 games. Statistically correct. That's like that form right there. That's probably Champions League positions form. Isn't it? Right there. If you continue that across the course of the whole season, odds are we're probably going to finish in a Champions League spot. Which is the ambition of this season. So right now, we're on course for it. No matter how crap we're playing. I say we're playing crap, but we've only lost 1 in the last night. This is what I mean, man. The swings that you get after a week, on a week-by-week basis, and then sometimes when you take a little step back. But look, that game against Wolves, it doesn't really shift the narrative of where United are, of how United's season are going. But it's good to see that United actually got the job done. And you know what's even crazier is this, right? When we talk about what United's strategy was going into this season, Ratcliffe, Wilcox, Barada, number 1, score more goals. Right? I know that we're not going to be perfect defensively. I know that we're not going to be this and that. So you might argue that behind the scenes, that Barada and Wilcox and Amorim are going to be like, yeah, we're pretty much bang on where we kind of thought we were going to be. 6th after 15 games. Only Arsenal and City have scored more goals than us in the league. And you know what's even madder than that? Over the last 9 games, it's literally only City who have scored more goals than us. Like, I'm not just cherry picking stats here to try and put a positive spin on it. United have been scoring goals this season. Our bloody goal difference is actually +4. Hey, look, Gonk, you bang on right there. But again, this is kind of part of the... This is what it felt like... We go over here. This is what it felt like the strategy was this season. Like, we're going to concede a lot of goals still because we haven't sorted out the midfield and the defence. I'll be honest, it's really laughable that a Ruben Amorim team that has ended up playing with a back five a lot this season concedes as many goals as we do. Like, look, where we are. Was it 22 we conceded in the league? Have a quick look. So in terms of goals conceded against, 22. So that's more than anyone in the top 10 apart from Liverpool. You can't quite see it. Liverpool down there on 24. It's more than Spurs. It's more than Newcastle. Hell, it's only 3 goals more than Forest, who was 17th. But Forest have only scored 14. We've scored 26. This season was, strategy-wise, about scoring more goals. And right now, we have done that. We are doing that. It's a shame defensively how weak we are, and we can speak about that next. But in that sense, kind of getting the job done. Let's have a look at what you're saying down here. Someone's saying, I think people have forget how far we've come from a few months ago. If we carry on progressing at this rate, we'll be up there next season. Mate, but that's what United are. Sometimes they'll be good, sometimes they'll be shit. Like, you wouldn't watch that Everton game back and then talk to me about progress, would you? But then you would watch the second half against Crystal Palace and go, well, actually, you wouldn't have done that last season. That is progress. For every... Under Ruben Amorim, for every element of progress, there's a counter-argument. That's kind of what our season is. And it depends on what side of the fence you want to sit. You've got ammunition on both teams, man. Let's see what Ruben Amorim himself said after the game. I'll read a couple more of your comments out, and then I'll run through Ruben Amorim's comments. Barada's a sardine in the sandwich. Let me breathe out here, brother. David, Sam, how soon you've forgotten how United have stunk the place out more often this season. Yeah, I've really forgotten that, dude. I haven't mentioned that at any point during today's show. So thank you very much for listening. This is just what United season is, isn't it? It's very reflective of a Premier League trend. Let's be totally honest. Every team up and down, up and down, up and down. And even in that game against Wolves, I wouldn't say we had control for the full 90 minutes. Even after we scored the second, by the way, that 10-minute period between the second and third goal, Wolves ended up pushing down on us more. Lovely ball from Bruno. Right, let's run through Amorim's comments, man. This is what he said after the game. He was asked specifically about Mason Mount, which was the beginning of his reply, and then he spoke about something else.
I'm not impressed because I expect that from him and from our players. But I think everyone played well today. We respond well in every situation, and also the away fans, big, massive support today. So was a good day for everyone. Let's forget about this one and focus on the next one.
I think you really kind of saw it in Ruben's post-match comments, by the way. He wasn't really taking too much away from this. I thought these comments were interesting. Him saying what I'm saying, what you've been saying, like, we are so near to scoring a second goal to kill the game, but we need to be concerned about how we conceded a goal when we had that control, and that's what that first half felt like. Whether it was Delo who was put through, clean through early on, I think it was the 7th minute, and Bouma had a good volley chance. Ahmad had a couple of chances. I think by the end of the game, we had about 28, 29 shots. I think it's the most shots we've had in a game under Ruben Amorim. I think so. But we didn't put them away. We gave Wolves a route back into a game where they shouldn't have had any right to in the first half. Now, in the second half, we put that to bed. didn't we? By the time the third goal went in, that's when the game died. And from that point on, we were just controlling it. Should have been... I'll be honest. If Wolves weren't 1-0 down, it felt like that penalty call in the first half. You know, the arm was out, man. The arm was out. It was an unnatural position. It was kind of above... It wasn't above his body, but it wasn't like just down to his side and tucked in. Cunha had a shot cleared off the line. Like, Brooklyn, he done. How was the first not a pen and the second was? I think it was... The second was because the first existed and wasn't given, if I'm being completely honest. And I think if it was 0-0, that first one was more likely to be given. I think they gave him a little bit... I think they got away with it, really. But United was significantly better in that second half after the second goal went in. Now, let's talk about Matt. What did you think about Mount's... Actually, what do you think about... What do you think about Mount's season overall? And what did you think about Mount last night? Let me see what you're saying down here in the chat. Rex, thanks for super chat, dude. You're saying Liverpool was a great learning lesson. You can have all the structure and still make bad decisions. Getting big Schadenfreude from Salah's situation couldn't happen to a more deserving club. The Liverpool situation is, well, the perfect example, yeah. That even if you're on top, you still need to make the right decisions. You can be champions and then go out and spend 400 million and somehow manage to get it all wrong. That's what they did. Man, I've not done well on blocking my notifications today. Jesus. Popping up everywhere. Right. Let me see what you're saying down here about Mount. Right. Mount was man of the match, says Gonk. Easy man of the match for me. Easy man of the match. Someone mentioning Heaven. We'll speak about Heaven a little bit later in the show. Mount is back to his Chelsea form. Mount's season is great. Someone says down there. He's brilliant so far. One of our best players. Very good last night. Getting better by the game. And you're saying very good last night. The season, I feel like he's got his confidence in his own body. I think that's a pretty fair point. You know what? Last night, and I've said this about quite a few United players, so I was really happy to hear Mason Mount saying this. Just like, playing the system. I know where to position myself. I had fun tonight. Football is supposed to be a fun game. That's why you're growing up as a kid and so many people dream about being a professional footballer. What could be more fun in life than doing this as a job? Like, it's the dream. And it's the dream because you think you can have fun at the very top. Obviously, when the pressure's on, it's not as fun. And you play differently. Mason Mount looked like he was having fun last night. There was a couple of passes. One in particular, I think, again, this could have gone in. The ball from Mount to Bruno, and then Bruno, it should have just been an easy square ball to Cunha into an open net. But I think it was just blocked. But it was a sort of pass that you'd normally see from Bruno through to someone else. Instead, it was Mount through to Bruno. And I was like, yeah, man, that was good. Just nice touches, sharp touches, out of possession. He's always been very strong. Every manager that's ever managed Mason Mount always loves him. Don't they? Like, he must train incredibly well. He must be the consummate professional. His body has let him down so far at United. But last night, deservedly, he was man of the match. So, what's that? What other games has he scored in? I couldn't bloody remember last night. Scored, obviously, the second against Crystal Palace. Scored the first against Sunderland, I think. Scored last night. So what's that? 3 goals. How many goals has he scored this season? 3 goals? Something like that. Either way. I think what you're looking at here is a well-timed improvement from Mount when Mbeumo is going to be leaving for AFCON. Let's be totally honest. I'll speak about Cunha and Mbeumo next as well, but I'm happy for him. We are a better team when Mount is playing like that. No one's ever really, this isn't revisionism. No one's ever suggested Mount was a bad footballer. I think most United fans felt that we kind of had our pants pulled down a little bit over the price of Mason Mount. He had 1 year left on his contract. He was leaving Chelsea. We paid up for 50 mil plus. We're like, Probably should have got a better deal on that. I think I agree on that. And then he's just injuries. Like, he was. I know he had some injury problems at Chelsea, but he's never had that many injuries compared to what he's had at United. Whereas now, Graf was put in. Everybody came back looking fitter in pre-season. We're certainly a better pressing team with Mount in. For sure. Let me see what you're saying down here. Mount and Bruno behind Cunha with Mainu and Casemiro is going to be solid, says Sam. I think it's a possibility. We'll see that. Mount and Casemiro benefiting from 1 game a week. I agree on that. Rev, you're saying, how do I think we'll line up when AFCON hits? We'll speak about AFCON a little bit. Amorim spoke about it yesterday. But good. Mount, good. Like, while you're not going to be looking at the 4-1 against Wolves and saying, oh, this is a United team transformed and turned over. No, that was a turning point. For individuals, on an individual momentum basis, that game will be good for Mason Mount. That game will be solid. As it was for the man who just continues to... like, the more and more and more I think about it, I don't even think my... like, United's strategy this season was to score more goals. That's why we bought Cunha. That's why we bought Mbeumo, and that's why we bought Šeško. But I just can't help but... saying they were 6th. I just can't help but feel we would still be a better overall team if this bloke was just closer to the opposition's goal, man. He's got 10 goal contributions in the Premier League this season from a deeper midfield position. Although saying that, quite a lot last night, actually quite a lot this season, really. You see Bruno making runs like he's in a number 10 role. Man, I wish we could just get him closer to the opposition's goal. Some of that night, Gus, I was half thinking this, and I'm bloody glad he didn't. You're saying, like, Bruno should have given the penalty to Cunha last night. Like, sod that for a laugh. Right, we were 3-1 up at that point in time. That penalty deaded the game. If we had missed that penalty, it was 3-1 with 10 minutes to go. All of a sudden, and they get 1 back, game on. I could not disagree with that anymore. I'm glad that Bruno took that penalty, dispatched it properly. Blah, blah, blah. Sam, you're waxing lyrical about us beating Wolves. No, I'm not. I'm speaking about the individuals. Overall, as a team, we got the job done last night. That's what I mean. People, we criticise these players for not being professional. Rightly so. So I'm going to point out when they are playing professional. There is a quiz today, by the way. Let me get the quiz. Today's quiz link. That's a little jingle, apparently. Here is today's link for the quiz. I'll make this the pinned comment. Remember, there's a prize. As always. Here is today's link for the quiz. Bang. Replace pinned message. Go. Right. Where were we? Bruno. Hey, it's like, come on, people. Like, when it comes to criticism, it has to be both ways. Like, praise when it's due. I'm not going crazy and saying that United are back. I'm not saying that Bruno's the best. Oh, he's one of the best midfielders in the Premier League. I'm not saying that Mount's I'm not doing all of that. I'm pointing out what was good yesterday. Just before we scored fucking 4 goals, we got 3 points. Yeah, I know we needed to get it done, but we got it done. That's what. I wouldn't say it was a game that had no uncomfortable moments. I think it had uncomfortable moments, I'll be honest. Especially that towards the end of that first half. We should let them back into that game. Now, and you remember what I said yesterday? I don't know why I'm not live on TikTok. I should be live on TikTok. Apologies if not. What I said yesterday in my preview, well, just in the chat yesterday, I was like, I'm looking towards Cunha and Mbeumo for leading and making a difference against Wolves. If I'm honest, I think Mount and Bruno stole the show. Although saying that, Cunha got an assist and Mbeumo got a goal. But Cunha yesterday, I think, was the first time that... I think quite a few of you have already been mentioning this before. I thought yesterday was the first time where it became really obvious and apparent to me. Like, Cunha really had his head, and I think it might just be because we were playing Wolves. By the way, anybody else thought it was dead weird? Like, it was like 4 people. It wasn't actually 4, but the booing of Cunha, who didn't leave on any sort of sour note whatsoever. But there was a protest before the game. It felt like it felt like the fact that he played for Wolves previously. So he's symbolic of the ownership who have sold all the players and not replaced them. It felt like such a half-hearted boo. It was like everyone likes him, everyone loves him. No one actually wants to boo him. But because of what's going on with the owners, oh yeah, boo, 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 boo. That's what it felt like with Cunha. But yesterday, he was having shots for fun. What was it, like 8, 9 shots he had? Right? Something like that. What did you make of Cunha's performance yesterday? Like, he could have had, like, he got a goal cleared off the line. There was there was a few chances he had, like decent chances. I think he had a header as well that was saved. It's like, it's still, I think Amorim's mentioned this previously. It feels like Cunha's probably trying too hard to score because he wants those numbers. Not necessarily so, like, for himself from a selfish perspective, but probably in his mind, it's the clearest reflection of whether he's succeeding or not, is how many goals or assists do I have to my name. Yeah, Carl, I saw that a lot and actually quite liked that. Cunha ended up being down the right-hand side quite often, and Bumo was central, and then they kind of switched and chopped and changed positions. You know what I said? I'd much rather Cunha be playing so he can run from deep. Did that sometimes yesterday. Still not seeing it as much as I want to. Julius saying is underwhelming. Wasn't going to be me. Cunha needs to relax. Doesn't look very sharp. Someone said he was determined and worked hard. It was different in Wolves. Need to see him like that at United. Danny saying it's probably going to be in Cunha's head because he'll be getting compared to Mbeumo, who's scoring for fun. Yeah, I don't think Cunha's fully settled. I'm still not angry or thinking, oh my God, we've got a flop going on. I don't think that at all. I still think we're a better team with Cunha in than without him in. I'd probably say the same for Mount, and I'd say the same for Mbeumo. Even though Mbeumo in these last couple of games, do I think he's been fantastic? It feels like his touch has eluded him a little bit, but that's what happens in form. Up and down. Now, Mbeumo and Ahmad are about to bloody leave, and then we'll speak about that next. But yeah, it does feel like he's trying too hard. And if I go back to this point here, and I know this is like very much easier said than done, Mason Mount talking about how he just had fun last night. I don't think Cunha really had fun against Wolves. We won 4-1. I don't particularly think he had a fun game. He was trying, like, everything he was trying, the work rate was there, but just wasn't quite coming off. Cunha had fun against Brighton when he scored that goal and how he was playing. He was like running back 30, 40 yards, putting in a slide tackle, then bombing down the pitch 30 yards. That was Cunha having fun. Last night was Cunha trying too hard and nothing really coming off. So I think that's probably a frustrating game. But keep him in the team. Of course you keep him in the team. Because Cunha got an assist last night and Mbeumo got a goal. So the output is still there. Ish. I really don't know what we do down that right-hand side when Mbeumo and Ahmad left. Like, it feels like... Is Ahmad the best player in this team? Who would you say is the best player in this team? It feels like Ahmad's the hardest to replace. I don't know how I want to phrase this really. But I think I'm more worried about Ahmad leaving for AFCON than I am Mbeumo. Which might be a really strange thing to say considering Mbeumo's our top scorer. But I just think that we've probably got more alternatives that aren't as big of a drop-off as Ahmad is to maybe Delo. Like Mbeumo, we've got Cunha, we've got not Sheshko, we've got Mount, and we've got Bruno. Yeah, I'll speak about that next. Bruno's irreplaceable. Bruno has been irreplaceable for a long time. Someone's saying that Ahmad's final delivery is not quite there, and it was once last night. I can't remember the name of whoever Wolves' left centre back was, but it's like Ahmad was waiting for him to make a tiny move and then just flicked it inside, and that's when he got a shot in and it hit someone. Was that the arm? I think that's one that hit the arm. Maybe, I can't remember. And then it just went wide. Yeah, Dalot's been pretty good recently. I will speak about him next. Actually, we'll speak about Sheshko. Just his agent saying this. Look, going to be seeing back on the pitch soon, maybe sooner than expected. I've always felt that Bournemouth is probably going to be the first game where you might see something this week about Sheshko and the availability. I think we'll see him back in the United shirt before the end of the year. So we've got who left? We've got Bournemouth, Villa, Newcastle, Wolves. We've got 4 games left this year. Sheshko's going to be involved in some capacity. Don't know which one. Bournemouth might come a little bit too early. You might see him on the bench. You might not. But his agent's saying he's going to be back sooner rather than later, which is good because obviously we'll need him back when AFCON happens. And like someone's mentioning it down here. Last couple of games, nice. Dalot's look good. I'm not just talking about the fact that he got a goal against West Ham and he got an assist against Wolves. Dalot's just been playing a bit better. Less of those frustrating, looking a little bit more creative going forward. I always think that's a bit of a sticking point when it comes to watching Dalot play left wing back. Always cuts inside, always passes back to Shaw. But again, yesterday, Shaw was more aggressive. There was one tackle that he made on the halfway line. I was like, that is a sick tackle. The ball was just played into whoever was it Strand Larsen? And Shaw was just bang, absolutely clattered him. And then we had another chance and shot. I think it was a shot from Mason Mount maybe. Like 6-7 seconds later. Really good seeing us being aggressive like that. But Dalot, last couple of games, been better. Good. Well done. And I don't mean that in a condescending or a sarcastic way. We're going to need him to be in better form as much as possible when Ahmad's gone at AFCON. Because he's probably going to be starting absolutely every game. It's probably going to be Dalot and Dorgu. Some people down there speaking about Shaw moving to left wing back. I don't know how much we'll see it. But yeah, Ahmad, right? AFCON. This is what Amorim said. So look, the club is talking with the national teams. Let's wait for the middle of the week. I don't know for sure, but we're doing our job. And that's because Bournemouth is on the 15th, right? Which is the last day. So that there's like a mandate from FIFA that all clubs have to let their players go by the 15th for AFCON. United are asking and have asked. Of course, we play Monday night football. Of course, it's 8 p.m. Of course, it is. But that Bournemouth game is on the 15th. So there is a possibility. Now, fingers crossed, touch wood and all that. It's a possibility that that's Ahmad's last game until AFCON's over. That's Mbeumo's last game until AFCON's over. I kind of don't think it will. I think United will get the permission. But there's a possibility that Ahmad and Mbeumo are both out against Bournemouth. That would suck balls. You know what I found interesting last night? Let me read some of your comments out down here. And then I'll move on because I want to have a conversation. Shaw's an ex-Martinez with a better cross. Next Martinez? Shaw's older than Martinez. I'm not sure that works. Shaw's been consistent this season. One of our best defenders, if not our best so far. Don't think I can disagree, really, Steve. And this is coming from somebody who's, my opinions on Shaw. My long-term opinions on Shaw. But in the short term, very much enjoying what I'm watching. Did I think it was going to be possible this season? No. Do I need to eat humble pie? I don't know whether it's a case of humble pie. Shaw is proving me wrong. Proving lots of us wrong. And I hope it continues all season long. And then I hope he goes to the World Cup and enjoys himself. Just stay fit. And yeah, I imagine that's probably what's going to happen. Yeah, Mazraoui, of course, could be leaving. Well, would be leaving too. But I thought this was an interesting conversation, right? The positions. Obviously, Ruben Amorim made his 2 defensive subs last night. I looked at it. If I was being totally honest, I was a little bit disappointed that Lacey wasn't given his debut, and especially when 9 minutes came up on the board. I'm only talking like 3, 4, 5 minutes at the end of the game, simply because we were 4-1 up. And like, it's these situations where I think 3 goals up, 5 minutes, 6 minutes. That's when you give an academy player, a graduate, like a debut. No pressure. Don't have to see a game out. Just enjoy yourself. Just get used to the occasion of being on the pitch in a Premier League game for Manchester United. So I was a little bit, I wouldn't say frustrated. I thought that was a perfect opportunity. But this, right? So with De Ligt out, Heaven, and I'll speak about Heaven next, by the way. Heaven's come in and started as the central centre-back. Now, Gary Neville pointed this out against West Ham. That position isn't just like another centre-back. That centre-back controls where the other 2 centre-backs are. That centre-back is basically the dictator of the tempo of the game. He's the one who always makes himself available, drops into midfield, brings the ball forward. Martinez played there, which I thought was an interesting one, because Martinez, for example, up against Mateta or Haaland from the start as a central centre-back, he's going to get dunked on. But maybe Martinez towards the end of games, if we were holding on to a 1-0 lead, then you probably wouldn't put him there. But I just thought it was interesting how Martinez came on and played as the central centre-back. Yoro went out to the right, and then Shaw stayed on and then went to the left. Yeah, Heaven did used to be a defensive midfielder. Good knowledge there, Harry. So clearly, Ruben Amorim, yeah, I think he does trust Heaven. I think the fact that Heaven started after that West Ham game, it was if Heaven hadn't have got the yellow card against West Ham, I think Amorim would have been probably would have kept Heaven on. It was a little bit of a reckless, excited, exuberant yellow card against West Ham from Aiden. It was like 7 minutes in. It was nowhere near the ball. So he got taken off. But he got put back into the starting 11. And I thought he played well. Right? What did you think of Heaven's performance? Like he's speaking about Amorim's trust in him. I just thought Heaven played much better yesterday. Now, of course, it was against the Wolves team. But those are the sorts of games that can make a bit of a difference to the confidence of a player. It might not change the trajectory of Manchester United's season, but I'll tell you what, it will make Heaven feel a lot better after what happened against West Ham. But Heaven there wasn't a one-off, and I don't think it is a one-off. Because that central centre-back, which I've still got reservations about De Ligt in that role. I think De Ligt's actually been our best, if we're being honest, our best defender this season has been De Ligt. Shaw can be second. But I even question De Ligt's ability when you're asking him to step into midfield and play with the ball under pressure. I don't think he's as good in that role as we need that role to be. But I think Heaven played well. MMA, Heaven's been rubbish. Well, no, I don't think it was rubbish last night, if I'm being honest. He did make some good decisions. There was one pass he made which I really liked. That he was just next to the halfway line. It was quite a tricky ball, but played it through, I think, like 3 Wolves players across towards, it might have been Shaw, just past the halfway line, and it just got United onto an attack straight away. It's the sort of pass where if you balls it up, you're going to give an opportunity straight to the opposition, but if you're good enough and you've got the confidence that you're going to pull that pass off, you can turn a situation where you're being pressed into a situation where you're now basically bearing down on the opposition's goal because it opens half the pitch up. They're the sorts of passes that you really want your centre-backs to be able to do, but they need confidence and they need quality. I think he had more of that yesterday. And Amorim was speaking about him after the game as well. Said, look, he's got a great future, hard to beat, adapts well in the centre. I'm getting a Matter is de Ligt. And Harry with problems. Of course, he needs more rhythm to play 90 minutes, but I think he did well. I really enjoyed seeing him with the ball. Yeah, and I kind of agree with your comment down there. And Mazraoui at right centre-back. Mazraoui is certainly more confident on the ball than Yoro is this season. And I think that's probably a part of the game. Yoro's like diags, like his long switches, when he pulls them off, mustard. But in terms of the more intricate passing, maybe little quick 1-2s, little dinks around the corner of a player, skipping past a player, wouldn't say that's quite in Yoro's locker yet, and he needs to develop in that sense. It'll be a shame to see Mazraoui go as well, because it looks like Mazraoui's getting into a little bit of form. Boom, AFCON. So that whole right-hand side, right centre-back, really, realistically, you're probably starting Mazraoui as your right centre-back, you're starting Ahmed as your right wing-back, and you're starting Mbeumo as your right attacking midfielder. And we've been a very right-heavy team all season. Therefore, when AFCON happens, that whole right-hand side is going to have to change. I don't really know where our attacking patterns are going to come from. I know the players to come in and replace them, but that's a bit whiffy, if I'm honest. In terms of de Ligt, I mean, nobody knows what's going on. It's quite interesting that United are keeping their cards close to their chest on this one. Typically, when you get a player in the Premier League who's injured, I wouldn't say you always get like an announcement. Sometimes you get an announcement, but you kind of know a bit of information on it. I don't know. Has anybody seen or heard anything about de Ligt's injury? Because I've not. So I don't know what it is, whether it's something minor, whether it's something major. But he's been out of the last 2 games, and Heaven stepped in, and presumably that's Heaven in for the Bournemouth game, unless something happens between now and Bournemouth and de Ligt's back. Yeah, it may well be that, Gonk. It may well be something that's more personal, more private. Because I've just found it a little bit strange. Mount right wing backs. No. Nope. Just having a stretch like a dog. Oh, big stretch. Big stretch. Big stretch. Big stretch. Don't know why I'm doing stretching here. Someone talking about that's why Lacey needs to be integrated. Lacey's going to get an opportunity at some point in these next few games. I was hoping it was going to be there 4-1 up against Wolves. It would have been the perfect time. But it may well happen against Bournemouth. May well happen against Villa or Newcastle. Because there's going to be space and there's going to be time, right? I'm disagreeing that down there. Cunha wasn't awful yesterday. Cunha was just trying a little bit too hard. The link for today's quiz, by the way, it's the pinned comment in the chat. All right, make sure you head there. Mr. Smith, the next podcast is going to be out tomorrow morning. We're recording tonight at 7, half 7. It's because it was a Monday night kickoff. Typically, our recording days are Sunday and Wednesday, so we can release on a Monday and a Thursday. We're playing on Monday. Couldn't really do it last night, so we have to record on Tuesday, and we're going to get it out on Wednesday. And then we play again on Monday, so again, same thing next week. It's just what happens when we're playing so many bloody Mondays in a row. Yep. I suppose it was good to see Cobby getting some minutes last night. But again, I made this in my match reaction. I said this in my match reaction. I don't think I can really properly comment on Mainu until I see him. I don't think he necessarily has to start a game. But I'm not really taking much out of Cobby coming off the bench in the 76th minute, something like that. And kind of seeing the game out with United. He made some decent passes. I don't really think there's much I can really take from it. You can see the crowd, United away, and was happy to see him come on the pitch. I would love to think that an option for Ruben Amorim, once Ahmad and Mbeumo go to AFCON, is simply Bruno getting pushed up, being the right attacking midfielder, Mainu coming in behind him on the pitch alongside Casemiro. So then you got Casemiro and you got Mainu in the middle, and you got Bruno further forward. Or Would you play Mainu further forward? I mean, that's a possibility as well. But yeah, I just can't look into these like cameos and think I'm going to see something like totally game changing. I don't think so anyway. We'll find out. Someone down there, Danny, saying, I do take things out of Kobe about playing for 20 minutes. At least do a good run, a key pass, and get your foot stuck in. Yeah, but that's something I would agree with Marks. At the very least, we saw Amorim bring on Mainu instead of Ugarte, because he could have done that. Could easily have done that. See the game out, bring Ugarte on, play him along. No, sod that. He brought on Mainu. I think so. Overall, that game last night was everything it needed to be when the full-time whistle blew. Was it a perfect game? No. Was it a good second? It was a very good second half. First half, we got the goal. Game should have been dead and buried. We allowed Wolves back into it, and that nearly hurt us. But we were professional enough to get the job done in the second half. Good. You've got a week now. Then we got Bournemouth at Old Trafford. And I've already mentioned this before. I'm not going to do my Bournemouth preview for... When's it? We'll probably get it out on... Oh, actually, I'll tell you what we've got. This weekend, we've got UPTV Christmas party up in Manchester. I'm well looking forward to that. We'll show you some pics. There's going to be 10 of us. Random question here, right? Let me ask you something. I want to pull something up here so I know the exact number. Just been doing like plans for next year, etc., etc. And I was looking at this. Let me count this. How many people do you think are involved with United People's TV behind the scenes? Including me. Overall, total. What do you think it is? I'm just curious as to how big or small you think the scale of United People's TV is. And then I'll let you know. Because, yeah, Christmas party. It's up in Manchester. Looking forward to it. Very looking forward to it. Very looking forward to it. Bournemouth's last... Where's Bournemouth form, then? Right. Look at Bournemouth's form going into this game against us. Pardon me. Beat Forest and they lost to City, lost to Villa, drew against West Ham, lost to Sunderland, lost to Everton, drew against Chelsea. Bournemouth's form has been stinky, stinky, stinky. Right? Doesn't mean that they're going to be out of form at Old Trafford, but this is the form of them coming into the game. What have we got down here? Mad numbers. 40. Jeez, if it was 40, my God, imagine that. Someone down there, 6, 5, 16, 7, 21, 20. Well, I was just doing the org chart. It's 19 people. It's not the quiz. It's not the quiz, actually. But 19 people. Like, that's the... If you were to compare that to last year, it would have been a lot less. A lot less. So there's been a lot more growth. And yeah, we've been able to bring out the new posters. We've got the... If you want to check them out, it's uptvmerch.com. And I'd love to just grow the posters so they're sort of... Yeah, I just love to grow the posters. I just feel like that's the calling for the merch on the channel, right? We'll probably keep this sort of stuff for members and stuff like that. Oh, members, check out Discord. There's going to be a 10% discount for you. For all members in the Discord channel, all right? So make sure you check that. But let's go and let's have some fun because it's quiz time now, all right? So we've got the raffle down there. £1 a ticket. Someone's going to win a PS5. 100% of the ticket proceeds are going to charity. All going to Great Ormond Street Hospital. It is the quiz, all right? Latest round of the quiz. Make sure you check out the... If I click that, does that work? Yeah, there you go. Oh, I don't know what that means, actually. Oh, God. What have I done? What have I done? Go away. Let's just leave that there. Close. This is the link for it. I can see 138 of you already. You can see it down there. Oh, you actually can't quite see it. I don't know why it's a little bit off screen. But this is round 7, all right? So it's the 7th one we've done. 140. The link is the pinned comment on the chat. Look at the chat. Look at the pinned comment. That's where it will be every single day. The same place every single day. Okay? And it works. Because I got it open and it works. So if it's not working, it means that you're not looking in the right place, rather than the link's not working. Because it's working for another 150 people, mate. So it should definitely work for you. Let's get... Right. Come on. I love this. Did they ever make a Starsky and Hutch game? Right. You ready? Let's start the quiz. Let's see what awful question there is in this one. First question. Which country is Mazraoui representing at AFCON? Morocco, Ivory Coast or Cameroon? Come on, peeps. Only 2 of you got that one wrong. We still haven't had 100% on a question, I don't think. 2 of you got it wrong, but it's Morocco. Who was fastest finger first to get started? St. Nicholas. Isn't that Santa's name? Is it St. Nicholas? I think so. Right. Fastest finger first, then Sebastian and Philip. Second question. Who scored United's first and last goal versus Wolves last night? Look at that. Alex getting in there quick. A little round of applause to Alex for updating the quiz. Quizzes about the last night's game. Come on. You don't get that sort of interaction. That's got to be 100%. Still, there's 13 of you. Come on, people. How'd you get that wrong? You literally watched the game. Anyway. Bruno. Sebastian, David, Brian and Puffy. Not Diddy. Oh, this is... Doit. Has Brian already run a quiz before? I don't remember. Don't think he has. Right, question 3. You ready? 3, 2, 1. Name the home ground where United's women's team play the majority of their matches. Old Trafford, Lee Sports Village or Carrington? Right, come on. That's Lee Sports Village, right? It's a shame they don't play more games at Old Trafford, if I'm being honest. Anyway, 113 if you got that right. Who got it right fastest? Let's have a look. Oh, Brian. Looks like Brian just... No. Who got it? Puffy? Lee? Lee was fastest. Lee's now top of the leaderboard. Etz, you're not allowed to win a second one in a row. I mean, you can, but hopefully not. Got to share it around. You ready? This is question 4 out of 5. It's about to get tough, probably. Right, you ready? Got it. Who has the most ever Premier League assists for Manchester United? I know who I guess. Rooney, Bruno, Giggs, or Beckham? Oh, wrong thing. I'll tell you who I guess in 1 second. I guess Giggs. Come on, Sam. Come on, Sam. Well, it's a tough one. People said Bruno. Right. Who was fastest? Johnny? Oh, Etz is top by 1 point again. Is this dude going to be doing back-to-back? Did he win it yesterday as well? I think he did. Hey, look, man. It's a quiz every day. Like winners are winners. One game, one question left. Let's get it up there. Let's get emotional. Should we just turn the lights off? What happens then? Final round of the quiz. You ready? I don't know why I put my hood up. It's a little bit intimidating. I know why I'm saying that. Last question. During his loan spell in 2022-23, how many goals did Marcel Sabitzer score in all competitions? 2, 3, 4, or 5 goals? I'll probably take that down now. Probably turn the lights back on as well. 3? I mean, that was a guess. That was a guess. All right. 44 if you got it right. Who got it right? More importantly, did Etz? Did he win it again? Clint, my God, you got that fast. 981. Ibuka. By 3 points. Round of applause, round of applause, round of applause, round of applause. Clint is fuming. Lost by how many points? 14 points. Oh, he's toyed. He's toyed like a toiger. Jack, you finished 50th. You beat Mushroom. He finished 57th. We'll take that, though. Congratulations, dude. Get involved. Well, get involved. Get in contact with... Why am I still playing this? This music's a little bit relaxing, isn't it? Man, that was a hard submit question. It makes it more fun, though, right? Makes it more fun. Right. I'm going to stop playing that. It sounds like a crap Lord of the Rings. Right. That's the latest edition of the quiz. Feels like we should just keep this going forever. That'd be expensive, though. Right. It's nice to come here after United win a game of football. It was comfortable in the second half. I enjoyed it. It did look like some of the players were having some fun. Mount had fun. 4-1. 3 points. United up to a balmy 6th in the Premier League table. Bournemouth next. Very nice. We'll take that. And to finish off today's show, you can see it down there. If you want to be involved in the raffle to win a PS5, the link is in the description. It's only £1 per ticket. 100% of the ticket proceeds are going to be donated to charity, Great Ormond Street Hospital, and then I'll buy a PS5 for the winner. And then we've launched our new posters. All right, that's Fergie. Fergie's over there, Cantona's over there, and Park's over there. And Park is my personal favourite. It's got such a good texture on it. Almost looks like the only way I can describe it is almost like if you were to. It's like art that's been done on like an old potato sack. That's kind of what it looks like. So uptvmerch.com, there's 9 new ones. There's 3 of them. There's another 5 or 6 I've thrown on the floor now. Thank you all for tuning in. Please drop a like on the video. It makes a big difference to the channel. And I will see you tomorrow morning. Lunchtime video today. It's going to be about the game last night. All right? Take it easy.